For us. And my name is Dee Corchin. Glad to be with you guys tonight and just coming off a few days of vacation with Larry. And he's going to be with us towards the end of the call. Optavia called a special leadership meeting at 7:30. So he's sitting in on that for us. And we are continuing. We are going through Dan Bell's fundamental skills training. He did that series a couple of weeks ago, and we're going back through it. They actually say we only retain about 10% of what we hear the first time around. So what we want to do is go through it together as a team, rewatch it, and then be able to put it into action. And I'm really excited because tonight Lisa Bloom is going to be our facilitator, and I know that Lisa has several of our team members that are going to share the time with her. But one of the reasons I decided I wanted you guys to hear from Lisa is last week, Dan talked about the 3 things that determine success with Optavia, and it was motivation, mindset, and skills. And we spent all last week talking about motivation and mindset and how they're really about 90 to 95% of the equation. So if you missed that, enjoy tonight, but go back and watch it. But then tonight, we're starting on the 6 fundamental skills. And Dan really wants us to know that this business is simple. And one of the first things we want to do as a coach is identify who are we going to talk to about what we have to offer in terms of healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And when I connected with Lisa, I started training her like I do every coach. And one of the first steps is let's start a list. Who are we going to talk to? And Lisa jumped right into that. And really that has been what drives her business for the past few years. And that's why she's so successful. So Lisa, I'm going to turn it over to you and can't hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Dee. Thanks for inviting me to facilitate the call. This is going to be a lot of fun, you guys. I don't know about you, but that training had so much information in it. I mean, my gosh, just so many nuggets, and I couldn't take notes or screenshots fast enough. And it's all stuff we've heard before, but it is such good stuff. Before I dive in, I just want to invite you as we go along, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And if we can get to them, we'll answer them, one way or the other. Maybe Dee, you'll keep track if we want to answer them offline if we need to, if we run out of time. So as we get started, I'd like to just ask you, and again, drop this in the chat. What was one thing you took away that most resonated with you that you're going to, or maybe you already have put it into action? Because we had this homework, almost a week ago, Dee sent us the recording to listen to. So as you guys think about listening to that recording, what was something that you said, oh, that's it, I'm going to do that, or I forgot about that, I want to do more of that, or I want to start doing this, because it's going to make a difference to my business? Anything come up for you guys? You just put it in the chat. Relationships, amen, Lori. Be interested, not interesting. Yeah. Talking to people. 3 conversations a day. Absolutely. Made my list of 20. Good job, Pat. Pickle. Pat and I have this inside joke that we say our mind is fickle, and we're going to talk about it with each other and use the word pickle to identify it. Listen to people. Action overcomes fears. Oh boy, does it ever. How many times have you guys been afraid to act, and then you take that action and suddenly you think, what was I afraid of, right? Keep filling the funnel, connect with others. We know a lot of people don't decide for them. Yeah, we're going to talk about pre-qualifying. Who else can I serve? Oh, it's Zena. I love that. Optavia is the canvas and the people are the paint. That's beautiful. I'm a very visual person. Yeah, so reach out to our list, identify, and don't judge. Great stuff, you guys, and all from Dan's training, right? And I think, what I loved personally is when Dan said, the phone call is back. And I know that because he did this during the COVID quarantine, he was talking about connecting more authentically with people, right? And I keep getting that reminder that the phone call never left us, right? And Dee, I even remember when we first started working together, you said that, I think it was Dr. A said to you, before social media, before the internet, what did we do? We went through our Rolodex or our address book and we just started picking up the phone and calling people. And reaching out to people directly, picking up the phone, whether we're in quarantine or not, is just so powerful. Nothing beats that phone call, the personal touch, hearing your voice, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I have found there are clients and coaches who really don't embrace social media. We know that's a big tool. It's a great tool for our business, but I mean, I can think of coaches on my team who have clients that say, I don't do social media. Some of them for security reasons based on the day job they have. And there are some people who are just not on it. And, you know, I know, and there's many of us on this call who've built a big business relying on social media. And I've been guilty myself of relying on it as the number one method of client acquisition. And I've gone through periods of time where I'm just sort of putting a post out there, volleying it and hoping somebody will kind of dive in, and kind of waiting and going, oh, nobody's looking at my posts. I put one out there today. I don't think it got any activity. And so sometimes people do. More often than not, they don't. And you know why? It's because they're waiting for you. They feel nervous. They see the posts. I'm sure many of you have heard from somebody who said, gosh, I've been watching your posts and I didn't want to reach out. I feel nervous. I'm kind of scared of taking that first step. And what they need, you guys, is encouragement beyond your post that comes from that intentional connection. It can start with the post and then lead to that direct message and then follow up with a phone call, right? Because that's really where the connection comes in. And so I think for me, the key learning is that social media is just one component of a strategy that's helpful for our business. So think of it like this, right? You see someone or meet them, you have a conversation, then they see you on social media and it kind of reminds them of who you are, and you keep showing up consistently. And it says, this is who you are and what you do. And then you call them and they say, oh gosh, I met you, I talked to you, I see you on social media. And now kind of the picture all comes together. And I'm sure you've done that sometimes, and people say, oh, I was just thinking about you, right? And that's the thing too. I don't remember if Terry Miller said it on this one or a different one, but she said, if someone comes to mind, call them, right? There's a reason they're coming to your mind. So one of the things Dan did was he walked us through an exercise, a free association exercise. Do you guys remember that? And he said, for 2 minutes, just answer the questions that I'm going to pose to you and write down names. And he said things like, who do you know that's kind? Who do you know that's hardworking? Who do you know that's energetic? And he gave us 2 minutes to come up with the names. So I'm just curious, you guys, if you could put in the chat, how many names did you come up with during that 2 minutes? Anybody? Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Okay. Beth Bilton, 15, 12, 22. Look at that. In 2 minutes, 20. Around 20, 11. I need to look. Yeah, Elaine, I needed to look too. 14. I mean, just in 2 minutes. And think about that. I think when I first heard the term hundreds list and somebody said, come up with a list of 100 people, I thought, I can never do that. It's a lot of people. But it's amazing once you get started, the momentum it builds. 32, that is amazing, in 2 minutes. So, that's what I love about things like this, is it reminds us of all these simple tools that are at our disposal that we can leverage to get a little momentum. Frantically typing while he was listing. Yeah, me too. So very cool, you guys. So one of the things too, then Dan talked about was expanding. And I think that 2 minutes was about your warm market, right? And then he talked about expanding our business beyond those warm contacts. So I'm going to ask some of the other coaches on our team to talk about how they do that, because they do a really good job. I'm going to start with Gina Manley. Gina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So tell us how you have expanded your business, how you identify clients.
I really think hard about who's on my heart, who I'm thinking about. And I kind of go to their page and maybe comment or start a conversation that way. I've picked up the phone and called people out of the blue just to catch up And then when you get to the point of, what is new with you? Oh my gosh, well, let me tell you, I can't wait. Sometimes it's having a conversation with, I had a conversation with the guy working on my internet a couple weeks ago because he asked me what I do for a living. So we had a long talk. It's really any number of ways. I do networking. I attend a networking group. I look for ways to have more conversations, because the more conversations I have, the more comfortable I am in having those conversations. And then I ask for referrals.
What about coach candidates, Gina? I know you and I talked earlier today about how you find coach candidates.
So I've really struggled with that, of looking outside the box. And I've been to 3 major Optavia events, and the same information is presented to us, but each time I hear it differently and really in a whole new way. And I had the same experience listening to Dan's training again. I heard it the first time live and in person on that Saturday. But when I heard it again yesterday when I was preparing for tonight, it was like I heard it for the first time. And what I kept going back to was the discussion about identifying coach candidates, because I've had a real block with that. And really, what is that? It's fear. Fear that I don't have the right words. I always ask Lisa, what are the right words? And she's like, there are no right words. It's you're listening and you kind of figure it out as you go. And fear of not being able to awaken them or really posture it in such the right way. And the light bulb went on when I was listening last night, and I thought, okay, now's the time to get into action. The only way I'm going to overcome that fear is if I put it into action. So I reached out to a couple of different people that I had been thinking about, and I have appointments with them to catch up, but really to introduce the opportunity, the business opportunity, because I know how they are. I know that they have missions to help people. I see something in them, and they love people and they love serving people. And that's a great coach candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, Gina. And yeah, there are some words, right, that people give to us, but you still have to make them your own. So my words aren't your words. Dan Bell even says, he's like, here's some words, but don't read this verbatim, right? So it's kind of about making it your own and having that conversation. And you guys know, if you see Susan Palace's posts every month, Gina has one of the highest frontline volumes in our business. And so Gina is strong at identifying candidates and acquiring clients and also getting referrals. And Beth asked, how do you ask for referrals? Beth, I think you were asking Gina because Gina was talking. So Gina, you want to spend a minute and tell us how you ask for referrals?
Whether it's a current client, or maybe I've talked to someone who is not interested in the program, either as a client or a coach, I always ask them, are there people in your world that have talked to you about their own health struggles? Maybe they just had a visit to their doctor and they're upset because the doctor told them it was time to lose weight, or they're fearful about the medication, whatever it is. Would you be willing to introduce me in a 3-way text? And everybody says yes. And, I preface it by saying that is a better way than if they go out and look at the program up on their own, because they'll get assigned a random coach, or they'll see that it's food and they don't get everything. But I ask everybody. I ask every client I talk to. I ask anybody I talk to, who do you know that I can help? And that's how I've built my referral business.
Yeah. And also a big referral business, you guys. Gina has multiple people from the same client. Yeah, great job. So Mary asked Gina, how are those coach candidates you're thinking of already clients, the people that you reached out to this week?
They are not. I'm trying to think out of the box, because I have those conversations about coaching with my clients. And now it's time for me to broaden my reach. And I look at my coach, Lisa Bloom, who was not a client, but became a coach first. So I know it's possible. I know that that coaches have built very successful businesses coming to Optavia for the business opportunities. So that's what my new strategy is for my own business, is to find those people. And I'm scared, but I'm gonna anyway.
Feel the fear, go for it anyway.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Gina, very much for sharing. Now I want to turn it over to Emily Liner. Emily, you're still in my phone as Emily Long, but Emily Liner, who has also a very solid, consistent, beautiful social media presence, and also has been really creative in the way she identifies client candidates. Are you there, Emily?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, take it away.
All right. So I've got about 3 things that I really try and focus on as a coach, with getting new clients and just kind of keeping my business where I want it to be each month. And I would say the biggest thing, and Lisa's told me this probably 500,000 times, and I every single time don't believe her that it's true, but it has proven to be true. Do not pre-qualify people. So it is so easy to do that, and it's so easy to look at somebody and say, well, all over their social media they're posting about how they're broke or they're in between jobs, and you never know if people have money in savings or like where they put priority with the things that they spend money on. And so somebody could be broke, in terms of going out and having fun and doing things on the weekend, but they might put a higher priority on their health and something like this program. And so you never know what the situation is. And it's so important not to pre-qualify people and rule them out as a potential, coach or client candidate. And I will say from experience, it's kind of funny because I've just not believed it. But every single client that I have, every single one of them has come out of left field. They are not people that were on my list. They are not people that I saw, on social media going, I'm going to help this person. Every single one of them has just kind of come out of nowhere. Like, I've been watching your post and I've been following your own progress, and I'm just really encouraged by what you're doing and I want to know more. And so that has just really helped me to believe that we really shouldn't be pre-qualifying people. So that's number one. Say it to yourself every single day, because I have to keep from doing it. But the second thing would be just consistency with posting and social media. And this is something I think I'm done pretty good at. I'm not used to posting a lot before I became a coach. So my social media was pretty quiet, just pictures of dogs and such. And I have really made a point to continue posting every day. So the things that I would normally post, like pictures of my dog, and I've always shared food recipes and things like that. So keeping that up, but then adding in a third post a day about, something related to the program, something related to health, the importance of health, what it means to be healthy. And it could be anything from like a motivational quote, or it could be, something specific, like the little snippets from Dr. A that they post on his social media. So just really trying to, think outside the box, and not always be posting like, I'm a health coach and this is what I do and this is the program, but just, really creating a presence on social media that shows that I'm, being consistent, that the program is important to me, and just that I have a focus on health and wellness. And then also keeping that family, dog component in there, some travel stuff. And so just keeping it, you don't want your whole social media just to be about the program. You want it to be kind of a variety of things. And being consistent with it. So I found that, sometimes it doesn't seem like people are paying attention to the post. I might only get 1 or 2 likes, or, no comments on a post. And then I'll have a client that I talk to like a week or 2 later and go, I saw that thing that you posted about whatever it was, and it really set with me, it really made me think about my health and where I am. And So people are paying attention even when you don't think they are. So just being consistent with that and making sure that you show up every day with that presence on social media. And then the third thing is just being creative and thinking outside the box. I saw that a couple of times in the comments already. For me, I'm a little bit more quiet, and so it's hard for me to kind of be brave and reach out and think creatively about how I can, work to get new clients and share the program like outside of my warm circle of people. But one thing I've started doing is reaching out to different businesses that are also in the health and wellness industry on Instagram, and I've gotten a couple of really good leads there. I've been able to partner with a couple of local chiropractors, couple of other things like gyms, juice bars, anything that you think of. You look at their social media and they have an emphasis on health and wellness, just reach out and say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I do, and I would love to partner with you with some events and just share information and, really work together collaboratively to help get other people healthy. And one way that I did that just this week actually is I started working out at a new gym, and I went in for my first workout, and the girl sat down with me and she was asking me some questions about my goals and what I wanted to accomplish. And she said, on your questionnaire, you said you wanted to feel better. Usually people want to lose weight or, all of these other things. She's like, but you put feel better. Why is that? And I said, well, I'm a health coach and I've put a huge emphasis on my nutrition on the program that I coach. I'm also a client. And I've lost a huge chunk of weight in the last year. And I am at a point where I just want to work out because I want to, and I want to feel better mentally and emotionally. And that started that conversation that dripped a little bit of the program, who I am. And so now that person, even if she's not interested in the program, knows that I'm a health coach, knows a little bit about the program that I have to offer. And so next time somebody says to her, gosh, I'm just really struggling, she might think of me and use that as a referral.
Awesome share. Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing all that with us. And it shows in your business. You've just gotten more and more creative. The more we've talked about kind of what you want to do, you've gotten more creative. So those are awesome tips. Yeah. All right, I'm going to move on. I know Lori Cole has some things to share with us. Lori, are you out there?
I am. How are y'all? Are you
Hey.
good? Can you? Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Well, I love Dan. I relate so much to his teaching because I feel like he's not, I guess, an out there person. He's not going to be yelling and he's not going to be, and I love that because I'm not either. I'm going to be one of the quietest people in the room until I get to know you. And for me, it's kind of a stretch to go out. Like when you said standing at a juice bar, that just sends me into all kinds of a panic because I just get nervous about that. And so if you guys are like me, I think the key is relationships. And I think no matter what you do, if you feel like you can stand in a juice bar, go do that. I mean, I'm a jazzercise instructor, but I am certainly very introverted when it comes to other parts of my life. So I feel like my client acquisition has come from my social media presence and just being real. And if you're my friend on Facebook, you see my dog a whole lot. And I love her so much. But I'm also about all people and all help. And where are they? And what can I do? No matter where you are, how can we go to the next thing? What's the next thing for you? And so I will be in TJ Maxx and if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they say, what about, what about that? And I'll be like, oh, I'm a health coach. It opens this little door. And then a lot of times people are intrigued by that. Exactly what Dan said. We're not just smacking them in the face but we're just kind of drawing them into the conversation. And then the other thing, I'm reading this great book right now. I want to share it with you. Of course, I'm an English teacher. I'm reading something. It's called Change Your Questions and Change Your Life. And I really love it. And so I'll hold it up for you. But what I love about it is it reminds me about good questions to ask. And, he said, what's in it for me? He had an acronym, which was awesome. And I think it's so important because people love to talk about themselves. So if you say, like I just moved, so I'm like, hey, I'm new here. Where do you like to eat out? And it's a good conversation or whatever. But I think that the more we can just ask people about their own journey as coaches, we can start to meet them where they are. And it's just, I agree with Emily. I mean, I just get these random people, and all of a sudden they'll be like, I've been watching your post. And I'm like, where? You haven't liked it? You haven't? I mean, I don't know if that happens to y'all either, but I think just being present and being approachable is so important. So I saw the question up there. The name of the book is Change Your Questions and Change Your Life. Awesome book. And I think it's important because I'm learning to ask better questions and build relationships a little more. So for client acquisition, I think Dan's analogy of our world being a funnel, who is it? Who's coming in? And just who's next? I mean, like for me, it's about, as Paul Blanchard says, about creation. What can I create this month? What does that look like for me? And I just recently had a conversation with Dee, and Dee, I just want to thank you for this because it stuck with me so much. How can I have fun in what I'm doing today? And as coaches, I think when we start focusing on numbers and frontline volumes and building this and building that, we lose the fun, the ministry, and the relationships of what we're doing. But if we look at the fun, ministry, and relationships, then the numbers and the frontline volume and the coaches, all of that comes. So those are my tips. I hope that's helpful to y'all. Lisa, thank you so much for including me in this.
That was awesome, Lori. Thank you so much. Yeah, I loved every minute of that. So thank you. Yeah, pay attention to the relationships, you guys. Ask great questions. And I always say, everybody needs Optavia. They just don't know it yet. We have something for everyone. We have health. We have structure. We have mindset. We have a business opportunity. And I think the thing that keeps coming home to me is it is a business. So reach out to those people that are looking for business opportunities. And one of the ways I like to reach out is events. And, we're not having events right now, but there's going to be a Health and Hope night this Wednesday night. So our 8:30 call is going to cover how we can put some of these things into action right away. They're going to talk about how to invite people to that Health and Hope night on Wednesday. So thank all you coaches for helping me out, Gina, Emily, Lori, and I know Larry has something to say before we wrap up here. So sorry, Larry, you've got a minute.
I feel like a car commercial ad here. So just really quick, we're at mid-month, folks. We have a lot of clients. You guys did fantastic over the last couple months. So please make sure you're coaching really well with your clients. And I know there's been some challenges out there. I can tell you one thing. I know the company is working hard as far as making sure that, again, they're taking care of things and making sure that they're doing the best by the clients. Again, we killed them. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. The entire company did such a fantastic job bringing on new clients that they got overwhelmed, and they're working out of that overwhelmness. So again, just bear with it, and I'm sure they'll get past it. Secondly, Dan Bell. I mean, we've got to go back to Dan for 1 second. And what he said last week on his call, which is at, 9 o'clock? On Monday nights, which you're all invited to if you want to attend. But on his call, he made a great point. We don't have a special going right now, okay? There's no special. We had 2 months of specials, and it was fantastic. But we actually do have another special going on, and that is the cost of regular groceries is going through the roof as a result of the interruption, as a result of COVID and everything going on. Eggs are up 16%, okay? The proteins, we see it. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Proteins probably up around 4%. So again, share that. That is a great opportunity for us to show the opportunity of our program and the fact that our costs have remained the same. Again, excluding our deals, but that's just between us coaches. But again, our pricing has remained the same. So again, a great opportunity. So please use that. And I think Dan has a really good point there as far as the cost of overall groceries. So, and that's all I got. So keep going. June 15th, make it a great month, and make sure, reach out to your mentorship team if we can help you hit your goals for this month.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa, and to Gina, Emily, and Lori for sharing. What a great call tonight. We'll see you guys all over at Dr. A's call and in the field training and Dan Bell's call. Have a great night, great week.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.